Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson, and this morning I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. Tell me, do you remember the 21st night of September? It was just a couple nights ago. It's September 23rd, and thus marks our 2008 entry into our 52-year journey through film. And for 2008, we had some deliberation. We thought WALL-E for the longest time, but we ended up covering Scooby-Doo. We were like, you know what? We'll keep the kids' movies to a once a decade, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we already covered the greatest, kids. Not really a kids' movie. Kind of horrible to call it that, but
well, I mean, it's okay. So it was marketed towards kids, sure, but it's probably the most sophisticated cinema to come out of pretty much any production company since the founding of Hollywood. But nevertheless, this is 2008. We've done 1970 all the way through the 70s, all the way through the 80s, all the way through the 90s, and we've only got a couple movies left in the aughts, and this be 2008's Slumdog Millionaire. Very, very critically acclaimed, and deservedly so.
We got a Kansas City Film Critics Circle Award, baby. We got best film and best screenplay. We got two of them even.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Who cares about the Oscars that it won? It won 8 or so Oscars, nominated for 2 more. As you do in a movie.
As one is wont to do.
Maybe that was part of the decision on picking this movie over WALL-E. It did win Motion Picture of the Year.
It did win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Writing, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Music, Best Sound Mixing. I mean, yeah, that sounds about right to me. But let's lay the groundwork for the people. Slumdog Millionaire released on Christmas of 2008, December 25th, 2008. Written by Simon Beaufoy, based off a novel by Vikas Swarup, and directed by Danny Boyle and co-directed by Loveleen Tandon. And wow. I'll say this was my first time watching this movie. I've literally heard about it for 14 years. I remember being 8 and hearing about Slumdog Millionaire and going, that movie sounds awesome. And then being told, you can't watch it. Okay. So, I held off. I held off until last night. Last night was my first viewing of Slumdog Millionaire.
I'm in the same boat as you. This was a first watch. I only knew that it was about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That was it. That's like all I knew going in.
I did not even know that. So whenever it popped up on the screen that this is basically an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cut with the reasons he knew the answers, which brilliant, fucking brilliant. And we'll get there. But, the second Who Wants to Be a Millionaire pops up, I go, what? I was like,
that would be weird if not expecting it. That would be very strange.
Well, because the things that I did know of this movie were, I knew this poster, and the poster, I don't even think had the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire things that I like, the answer options, at least the ones I've seen. And I knew running with a lot of things, a lot of lights lighting up your face. And the slow kind of blending effect that is used when they're running every once in a while. But other than that, I was like, all right, I'm expecting some sort of action drama, high intensity. And it certainly had that. But to cut it with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, hey, man, I did not see that coming. But frankly, it was fucking awesome. And it made for what I'll say was probably our most compelling story of the aughts so far.
Yes, I was going to say, if there is like just something that this movie did right, like the story was just like, I don't know. It had, the love aspect to it at the end, this was a love story. And like, I don't know. Have we had a true love story? I guess Kong kind of in a way, but how much can you really, how much can you really do there?
See, the thing is that all of our love stories have always had something else going for it. We haven't watched a pure romance movie.
Like Gladiator has the, longing for the family,
the
love.
Matrix, like you can't be dead, because you are the one, and my prophecy was that I would love the one, and I do, so you can't be dead.
Kill Bill is like a very toxic love.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count that, but like, yeah.
Good Will Hunting, though.
Oh, true. Okay, fair.
I'd say Good Will Hunting was every bit as much a romance movie as this one was, because it's not the focus. It is the resolution. It's what makes the movie, but it is not the point of the movie for the longest.
Dumb and Dumber.
Naturally.
Classic love story there of one of the biggest simps. Did he win biggest simp?
Yes,
possibly.
He did.
Yes.
He did.
So there you go. But man, this one was a feel good love story. Well, not really feel good until the very end. You're like, okay, thank God.
It's a payoff, and I think one of the cool things about this movie, one of the points it's trying to make, is the whole, every time they're like, how did the Slumdog know the answers here? Tell me, what is this? It's the, who's on the, what was it, the 1,000 rupee note or something like that? And he's like, I couldn't tell you. And it was just showing like how his experience has informed him. It's like anybody's experience can shape a smart young man or young woman, a smart young person.
And I know I'm going way too deep in this, but I had a theory that
Love a theory.
Every time, like through these experiences, like the thought I had at the end was Salim knew that he would never be forgiven for like what he's done. And he had a lot of influence, he rose to the top, in the crime world. And my theory is that like he somehow handpicked these questions or made them ask these questions, so that he could win the million and then have the girl and live the life he wanted to. Because like, it is a love story, and it is supposed, like the last question, the Three Musketeers, like how fitting of a question is that for, all of them. And like,
goodness, as soon as he said it, bro, I teared up.
Yeah. And he's like he just smiles, he's just like, he smiles. He doesn't even care. He doesn't know the answer, but just because like he talked to her on the phone, that was it. That was all he needed. He's like, hey, fuck it. I don't care. Like, I got exactly what I wanted. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. That shit hit so hard. And to parallel it with Salim, taking his last stand and it being the shots from the very beginning of the movie and like, oh my God, just the way it comes together is so satisfying. Like at the beginning of the movie, putting on the screen, how did the Slumdog do this? A, lucky. B, he cheated. C,
he's a genius.
Genius. Or D, it was written. And then to, at the very end, without displaying that question, to just flash D, it was written. I went, oh.
Yep.
I was like, fuck.
And then they even made you think that the written was like the host feeding him the answer there. And like, you're like, oh, that's what that one was. But then like, No.
It was destiny.
Mm-hmm. And he was smart enough to know that, like, the host was playing him, you know? Like, he was smart enough to know that.
You're sure it's
And,
not B.
mm.
And he's like, nope, it's D.
Mm.
Okay,
And
but it could be B.
Mm.
It could also be D.
And then right before the like horn goes off, like out of time, you know, he's like, well, maybe it's written, you know, like to go like for the next question. Like he even like says that to him. And
God, this is definitely a movie I'll be rewatching, you know. There's pretty much no doubt about it. The characters in this movie, Jamal, Salim, and Latika, man, I care about those three, you know, and
Salim's a dick, man. Like,
man,
he
is hard to like.
Like even like off rip, whatever that the big actor that's coming in on the helicopter,
Yeah,
you know, and Salim traps Jamal in the porta potty, you know, and the only way out is the worst way out, you know, and like,
what's up with Danny Boyle and shit?
I mean, wow. I like, he pulled a picture out and he was contemplating. He's like, is it worth it? You know, is it worth it enough? Am I going to do this? And I'm like, I would have to meet God. I would have to meet, I don't know who that person could be that would make me do that. I mean,
I don't think I have one. I think like tough luck.
I'd be like, you know what? I'll watch it from out here. I'll miss it. I'll have another opportunity maybe later in life. He got that autograph though. Salim sold it the next day or whatever, you know, like right away. And he's like, huh?
Oh, and the like grin he had on his face when he told him he did it. Like it was like, oh, Salim, you slimy fucking scumbag of a dick. Like I just wanted to smack the shit out of that kid.
As Latika's or Latika. Is it Latika or I just don't want to pronounce it. Latika. So like has her hand, you know, on the train and then just lets it go. And it's just like, dude, like, I mean, come on. She's out in the rain trying just to, you know, sleep or whatever. Doesn't even let her in the freaking storage box that they're in. Like, dude, like, come on, Salim. Like, have a little bit of a heart.
Hey, but that child actor killed it. He was effective. It was an incredible seeing not the entire life of these characters kind of unfold in a couple hours, but you know, the big moments, you know, all these questions relating to something he could so clearly recall in his life, was so fucking cool. And Dev Patel as Jamal, fucking awesome. You've seen him in plenty more since Slumdog Millionaire. You know, I think this is probably fair to say the launching of that young man's career. But The Green Knight, I'm very I'm watching that later today. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna hop off this podcast and turn that movie on because I'm like, oh fuck, Dev Patel's good at what he does. But Frida Pinto also,
he's Prince Zuko in The Last Airbender.
In the live action movie, probably, yeah.
Like, oh, okay. I thought he was like the original voice actor. I was gonna say, I'm like, yo, no way. I don't know. But he kind of fits for Prince Zuko, actually. That's kind of cool. But man, yeah, I mean I don't know. I don't know if another movie has ever made me feel like so lucky and like so grateful for what I have. Like all these experiences that he had to go through was just every time I'm like, damn, like I am like, I have a roof over my head, you know, which I don't think about all the time. Like they didn't have a home for most of this. They literally lived in a landfill, you know, like for a while, like in all these things. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, geez, like I am so lucky to have what I have. And I don't know, maybe like that, like, cause the first part of the movie, I think until you realize that it's like the love story that's going to end it off, you know, like the first like hour and a half, it's just kind of like getting you to feel super bad for Salim. Not for Salim, for Jamal.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you obviously care, and you know, I was invested. But like that's kind of like all it was, is like, oh my God, I just feel terrible for this guy.
And I think it's interesting because it feels the way a game show does. You don't give a shit about the contestant on the game show for the first however long they're in the game show, but as soon as it's getting close to the fucking end, man, you're like, oh fuck, they could do this. And as soon as you realize, oh fuck, they could do this, it's when you're in. You know, like as soon as you go, he could win 20 million rupees.
90 million people were watching, you know, or
and that was another thing. Whenever everyone in the fucking city is watching it and they all go crazy for him, that's one of those moments where I just like, I started crying and I was like, oh my God, this is fucking
the
awesome.
Phone call whenever they were like, cut it, like move on. I was like, no, she better fucking pick up that phone. You know, it better be in time. I was like, no, like, no.
Yo, and how about the fucking superior television moment for them? The letting it build and then hello, and it being like, oh yeah. But dude, what's funny is her running towards the phone was the only imagery from this movie I'd seen.
Wow.
Prior to the movie. I don't think I saw it with sound or anything, or if it did, the sound didn't mean anything to me. Like I didn't have any connection to what was happening, anything. But I as soon as I saw her running, I was like, oh my God, this is what I've seen. And I was like, fuck, I saw like the best part of the movie, one of the best parts of the movie, completely out of context.
After he won too, I'm like, I know exactly where this boy's going. He's going to the train station. He's waiting for her, and it's gonna happen. Like I'm like, it better happen this way, you know. Like and like it was just so perfect. Like the way like it all wrapped up. Like a millionaire, a multi-millionaire now. You know, one of the most famous people in like around. Everyone just watched this guy do like just win, and he's like just sitting in a train station. You know, just waiting for the girl, waiting for his true love, and sees her through the train. You know, it's like passing by, and like he sees her first and just starts to run. He doesn't even look to the sides if a train is coming. He just goes. Like he's just on a mission. And man, I had some ugly cries. You know, I needed a few tissues for this one.
Oh yeah, this was one of my favorite aspects of this movie is Salim's redemption moment, though. You know, they do spend the movie showing the two directions Jamal and Salim go, and it's kind of like Salim almost keeps him at arm's length on purpose the whole movie. Like it seems like he doesn't want to do some of the things he did, but he felt he had to. And he even says so much to him at a point whenever he's like, you had to go, we were getting chased, like we would have died. Like sorry and shit, but I needed to do that. And they have that one last interaction up there in that over their old slum, and like, can you believe this is where we used to live? Like, I was just like, God damn.
In the first, like his initial thought was just to tackle him off the building, you know, and like
kill them both.
Like just seeing that, and I was like what? And then like went back. I'm like, oh, okay, satisfying to get a little punch in the face, you know. I think that was satisfying there.
Yeah, and I like that Salim was like, all right, yep, yeah.
I deserve that, probably.
Okay. Yeah. That's probably fair. I just gotta let you know, had to do it. But in those last moments where they're watching him on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he's with Latika, and he's like, all right, man, you gotta go. Like, this is the only chance you'll get. Like, I was like, thank you, Salim. Thank you. Finally.
The one, you know, if you did a good thing, This was the most important.
This what, and I mean, like, it changes Jamal's life forever. Presumably headcanon, and all. They end up together, happy ever after.
Mm-hmm. They have 20 million rupees to do whatever they want. So
it's true.
I mean, literally. I mean, like, I think Latika even says it early in the movie, like why do you even watch this show or whatever? And she's like, well, it's an escape. It's like the chance to run away and do whatever you want in life. And that's exactly what they got. Like they were at the train station even.
At the train station.
Who knows? Yeah. Maybe they just were like, let's just go
on the train. Yeah.
He didn't even have the check though. Like where did he?
Yeah, he already cashed that shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was excited to see Latika, but he's got his hands on 20 million rupees. He's cashing the check first.
Fair. No, you can't really just carry that around everywhere.
Hey guys, gotta. Sorry, gotta get through. No, but this, I also like that it was so. There were layers to it, like the way that the storytelling device was. All right, this is how he knew the answers to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but he is also explaining how he knew these answers to the people investigating him for how he knew the answers. Like it was just like that was an incredible story device. The fact that he was tortured at the beginning of this movie, and then they were like, oh yeah, this is the police figuring out why he knew the answers. I thought it was like some entity who had money in it, who had skin in the game. And then it was like, no, we're just trying to figure out how you cheated because there's no way you know all this shit.
And then like, they're so confident that like, nah, this dude cheated. But then like, when he admits to, Salim's murder, and then they're like, okay, fair. I don't think you admit to this, and he's like, okay, this dude's telling the truth. That's all he knows,
Oh yeah. Like whenever the guy says like, all right, no, Jamal, I believe you. You're not a liar. Like if there's anything here that I'm for sure, you're not a liar. He even says at one point, people ask me the questions and I tell them the answers.
Kind of like a smart ass remark too. Like just the whole Millionaire show is just that, he just told them the answer. Like he just knows. Sadly, he knows these answers, and like,
dude, and like, and such a cool way to like, not only give his experience a monetary meaning, like, it's like you went through all this to achieve this in the context of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like every evil there's a good there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, if you can win 20 million rupees on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I mean that would help a whole lot.
I'd say so. Someone's going to be taken off from taxes, whatever, but like you're still a millionaire. Like that's a whole lot more than he had. I mean, hey, they were hustlers though for a little bit. They were like, whenever they get thrown off the train right in front of the Taj Mahal, and then they see he just happens to be standing by like the tour guide sign, and then he just fakes everything, fake all. Oh, that guidebook that was written by some low lives.
They don't know shit.
Money grabbing, like they don't know anything, and then they start like stealing shoes, selling them on the street. They're making money.
Yeah, they were hustling, man.
Yeah. I mean, I guess not what I wanted them to be doing, but I was proud of them a little bit in the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you make
like
you make it happen.
Yeah, like what was I doing at age 8?
Hey, you didn't have to.
True. Yeah.
That's the key thing is that like this is like when the situation's got you in these places, what will you do? Do you give up? Do you stop? And these kids didn't. And it's like goddamn, you gotta respect it. The whole train sequence where they fall off at one point. It's like fuck.
Damn. Yeah, they were rolling for one tortilla shell. Just for one tortilla, like, man, if they're going through that effort, to tie, your feet to a rope and hanging off the edge of a, train that's going down the track at 50 miles an hour, like, I think they deserve a tortilla,
Dude, that shit was, and what a fucking reaction on the part of the man to go, you know what? I'm going to pull this fucker right down.
Yeah.
Excuse you? That is a child.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things that are just kind of like, damn, like, are these things really happening in the world? Like after they get, what was the evil dude's name that gave him the cokes, and like took him to his like compound. Oh, what was his name?
Oh yeah, fucking was that him, Prakash?
Possibly. Whoever Salim ended up killing, like he never forgets a face. Like, and then like Salim, he's in it, and he's like power grabbing a whole lot, and they're like the baby, like that newborn baby that's just like crying in that, or like sitting in that girl's arms, and he just like takes the baby. It's like, babies make triple, take the baby. Like you might like, just like, it was just like, damn, like, holy shit. Like, I don't know. Like,
that shit was hard to watch at points, man. They definitely made that shit hit hard as fuck on pretty much every occasion, every chance they could.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, man, this it was just a damn good movie, and as we're wrapping it up at the end of this movie, I'm like, it ends exactly how you actually want it to.
Oh yeah.
Which the entire time I was like, all right, I think he'll either get 20 million rupees, or I think he will either get the girl. I didn't think he'd end up with both. That was the best possible ending.
Whenever he just said like A, I was like, oh, he got it wrong. Like, cause he doesn't care. I'm like, he got it wrong. And like,
what's funny is if you knew the answer to the question, it kind of takes the steam out of that moment.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know at all.
I was, as soon as he goes, hey, I was like, fuck yeah! Yes! It was just funny because I was like, damn, man, I knew who the third musketeer was. I wonder, it must have been a lot more fun to find out with everyone else.
Well, there were like people in the audience that gasped, like whenever he said A. Like there were some
because C, D'Artagnan, is the main character in those books, but is not one of the three musketeers. So that was kind of the trick to the question, was like, you're probably going to take C because if you know Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan is a part of the books.
I see.
Or a part of that story. So people went, oh fuck, like he went with A, shit. And then they were like, oh cool, wow, I'm okay.
Man, I mean, it ended the best way. Is this based on a true story at all, or is this completely fiction?
I think this is completely fictionalized. It's based off a novel called Q&A.
Man, but I don't know why I thought, like, for some reason that it was based on a true story. Like, I knew it was Millionaire, and maybe just because Millionaire is a real show, I thought like there was some truth to it, or maybe like some like. Yeah,
it is like definitely like a real. Well, that's the thing, is that like, even though it might not be based on a true story, something that could happen. Like, of the movies we've watched, this is amongst the most realistic things that could happen. Could have happened to somebody. And if it was a true story, it'd be like, fuck, wow, what a life, huh?
The pile of shit that Jamal jumps into was made just out of peanut butter and chocolate.
I was gonna say it definitely didn't have it definitely didn't look as much like shit as Train Spotting had shit.
True. Yeah, he's got something. I don't know. Maybe he's just got to put shit in all his movies.
God damn, I don't know if I've seen numbers like this on a movie it like in the awards section of IMDb on my phone, it says won 8 Oscars, but below it, it says another 145 wins.
Yeah.
And on top of that, 133 other nominations.
That's nuts. I mean, for 2008, like I'm like, the other movies that like came out were like there are a few superhero movies, you know, Wall-E, you know, and stuff. I don't know. This one was
Iron
just
Man,
like
Dark Knight.
Yeah, like this one just feels like, I don't know. This is an easy movie to grasp onto if you've seen it. It's such an easy movie to like. I don't know. Like, I mean, the story was so beautiful. Like, it was just while you're watching, you don't really feel good until the end, and then by the resolution, you're like, oh my god. Like,
well, and
yes.
it's gonna be one on rewatch where you know how it ends,
Mm-hmm.
so you'll be happy to watch all of it. You'll be like, yeah, you know what? He overcame this. Look what he did. Look what he did. It's fucking brilliant, man. It ultimately just makes me really happy. And I mean, Danny Boyle did his fucking thing with it. There was some beautiful imagery in this movie. I wouldn't say, I think from a directorial standpoint, I think I did appreciate Trainspotting a little more. But from a writing and story perspective, I think I appreciate Slumdog Millionaire on a little bit higher of a level.
Yeah, I mean,
Simon, oh boy.
Trying to think of some nominations to make. And I think writing, they definitely deserve one there for sure.
I think Danny Boyle deserves one for the directing here. Like, while I did think I liked Trainspotting more, I thought Trainspotting was one of the best directed movies I've ever seen in my life. So it's like, there are a lot of movies I'd say weren't as well directed as Trainspotting. And I mean, like, he won Best Director at the Oscars for Slumdog Millionaire, so it feels blasphemous.
Let's see. I guess maybe, I don't know, the sets were kind of
nuts.
It's like a whole different like set design, really. I mean, it's like made you just
you were there, you know.
Let's see. I think that fills up the set design. So if we have, I guess, Avatar is coming up, so I think
might be bumping something on off that list.
One is probably going to have to go.
Methinks.
I guess
didn't stand out, but I was never taken out. So like, we'll come back to that. But that's definitely a potentiality. Soundtrack banged. I loved the soundtrack. I thought this was it was really atmospheric and really brought me further and further into the movie.
The end, the J-Ho, the like little dance number they had at the end was just like cool for no like awesome. They didn't have to do that. Like they didn't have to. It was
I love a movie that ends with a dance number, man. That makes me so happy. I also watched 40-Year-Old Virgin yesterday. Also ends with a dance number.
Any acting noms?
Yes. I think that Frida Pinto, Latika, deserves either Best Actress or Best Supporting. I don't know how you define Latika in this. I think probably Best Actress. But yeah, Frida Pinto, I think she bodied her role as Latika. And I think Dev Patel is probably deserving of a Best Actor nod. I think he didn't have to do a ton in terms of character work. I don't feel like he didn't have to reach deep into the bag. But there are moments where you feel it, you know, like he is Jamal. You feel you know, there's no doubt about it.
Like I think they'd probably be the only two actors that I would give the noms for here. Maybe I mean,
Celine.
that if Salim is going to get a nom here, that kicks someone out.
And I mean, like, if we're being 100% for real, I mean, someone's got to go, and I won't say out loud who.
Yeah, we'll just remove him silently.
Quietly remove him.
Yeah, we'll remove him silently, but Salim will come up in here. Where I don't see him on here. On
I'm not
IMDb
finding his name
for
on
some
IMDb.
reason.
Yeah, he's pretty low if I remember correctly.
Here we go.
Madhur Mittal.
Oh, is it two? Oh.
Well, there are 3 different actors who played him over the course of the movie.
That like the middle age and older versions were the same person. Oh, no, never mind. That's whenever they're at the Taj Mahal. Okay, so definitely we're thinking of
the older one. Yeah, Madhur Mittal. He was pretty awesome in this movie. I thought he did stellar, and frankly, there were a few good performances, like in a potentially even more supporting role, who was like barely in it and didn't have to do much. But the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Anil Kapoor, he did fucking awesome in this. You know, like the one moment he had where he was really invested, you could tell what his allegiances were and stuff. Like, that was strong. I loved that.
You want to kick out anyone else?
Nah, I think I think we're good. But yeah, man, it's been a hell of a decade as far as performances are concerned.
One more to go. We got one more movie. We're almost done. It'll round out the month of September and the decade.
That's satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Nice that lines up there. And man, I mean, this is going to be a pretty strong month. I'm thinking.
Me thinks so as well.
Mm-hmm. We don't have I don't think we will dip into the 3s at all in this month.
I don't think so, and I think that's a rarity as far as this project has gone. We've had a couple months where we've had nothing but bangers. May is going to be tough.
That is a tough month to beat. Neighbor Totoro, Dead Poets, Goodfellas, and Boys in the Hood. Sheesh. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to beat. But I mean, here with July, Trainspotting, Good Will Hunting, The Truman Show, Matrix, and Gladiator.
God damn.
You know, didn't come out to beat May, but I mean, we had a whole nother movie to factor in there.
True enough.
And man, yeah, I don't know. I think this one is going to do pretty well here.
I'd have to guess so as well. And are you ready for the rating section of the pod? I don't know that I have much else to say on the actual movie. You know, it was pretty for as highly lauded as I feel I regard it. It was not extremely complicated.
Yeah, it was just.
It was
next question. Show the experience. Show the sad reason why he knows the answer. He moves on, and then in between you mix in the love story and how they'll eventually get to meet. And yeah, I mean, not complicated, but I think that's what they were going for. They weren't going for any super, you know, I made a theory at the beginning, but that's not what they were going for. You know, they're not going for any deeper, you know, thinking. But yeah, I don't know. It made it kind of a super easy movie to watch.
Made it highly enjoyable.
Yeah, like watching a game show, you know, and I guess you said it, like a game show, you don't really care at the beginning necessarily. But then at the end, you're really in, you know, you're invested. If you've watched that beginning part and then they're almost there, they're almost at the end. And the payoff was like, talk about a payoff.
Oh man. This is amongst the best payoffs of any movie we've watched so far.
We've said that maybe, for the Decade Awards, we were going to do like the best ending, for a movie.
Yeah. And,
like we mentioned, like Gladiator, you know, that's what really brought the whole movie together was the ending there. You know, King Kong kind of had devastating ending, but like the ending was still like very strong. I think American Gangster. Glad that we watched the extended cut of that one. The ending was great there, but man, this was just a satisfying. Obviously, it goes without saying.
But I don't know that any hit quite like D. It was written. Man.
I knew that these things were going to happen. Like, I've never seen the movie before, but like, the only thing I didn't know is that if he would get the question right at the end.
Right.
I knew that they would be together. Like that was going to happen. And even knowing that it is coming, seeing it happen, I'm like, I am still crying like a baby. Like I'm thinking of it happening, and that's making me cry just thinking about it. And then whenever I see it unfold on screen, it's like, oh shit.
There have been multiple moments during this very podcast where I've mentioned a part of the ending and gone like, like, ooh, because there are a few like things in a movie where I can like point to exactly what made me feel the thing in that moment. You know, sometimes it's an amalgamation of all the things. It's the story coming together in a way. It's the soundtrack swelling. It's all of these things happening. But I was sitting there smiling when they kissed. And then it said D, it was written, and I went, oh. I was like, that made me cry. I was like, that was so brilliant. I just absolutely loved that. And I think it's enough to make this a 5 out of 5 enjoyment rating.
All right. Good. Yeah. I mean, how much you connected to the movie. This one, I was in. I did not have any breaks for the movie. I started and finished it.
Same.
And man, yeah, that ending was so satisfactory. It was beautiful.
It's what you want. It's what you want.
I guess what's the genre of this? Just drama? Yeah, drama and romance.
It's pretty effective. Man, this is probably a pretty high rating here as well.
I guess as far as romance section, like you don't get what you normally get out of a romance movie. I don't think, it's more of like devastating until the very end, and then like it makes up for it.
I'd be willing to bet that on a rewatch, the romance aspect of it is much more prevalent, much more noticeable. It's true. Like it's your focus the second time around.
He does I don't know where in the storage unit right away. He waits till Salim is asleep, and he isn't, but like he lets her in, and it's heading in like, aw, he loves her, but like it's not like you don't really know that that's a mutual thing until pretty late in the movie. Like it seems it doesn't seem one-sided for a lot of the movie, but it seems like he's hid his love for her and has had a love for her for like all his life, has never confessed it, and that's kind of just the way of things. On the rewatch though, you'll go, they're gonna end up together, bro. Because there are a lot of scenes with them at all ages intersecting. And the drama aspects of this movie were strong. Yeah.
Like I end up real high as far as the genre rating is concerned. What do we give Good Will Hunting in the genre?
We gave it a 4.75.
Okay. Then I'm probably slightly higher on Slumdog Millionaire than I was Good Will Hunting in this section. I think if that's our closest comparison for a romance drama romance, this did it better.
Fair.
So I'd take it up to that 4.8, 4.85 levels of genre score.
I feel like it belongs with like a Dead Poets for the genre.
Okay.
I feel like 4.85 is pretty fair there. The Departed is there too, but I guess it's kind of another movie where the ending is like a big payoff, True. I like the 4.85. Man,
it's going to come out to a high rating movie, buddy.
Because as a film, I mean, the direction, the story, which we say the story is like one of the most crucial parts of a movie.
And this one hit that on all cylinders. Like, if we were just going story, I give this a 5 out of 5 as far as the story is concerned.
Visually, you have a lot of, whether it's run down necessarily or, it's not the most beautiful thing to look at, but it's still, man. Yeah, it's like shot still beautifully. And, you have the Taj Mahal.
It reminded me of Trainspotting. Like, Danny Boyle has a great knack for capturing things as they are, not fantasticizing them. Just kind of like you see this, right? Like,
this is how it is.
This is the reality. Yeah, this is the reality of it. It might be a little fantastical story-wise at points, but this is it. This is what this place is, and I really appreciate the way that's captured. And I think, if I'm being honest with myself, I think it's a better movie than Trainspotting. And I do think it launches up into the 4.9 range with the likes of those legendary films we've discussed.
That's our first 4.9 in quite a while since, what was the last one? Would have been Shawshank. Wow, we got one. I was glad because I looked at Trainspotting and I saw that we gave it a 4.85, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I think this one was better made. So there we go. It ties it with Goodfellas and American Gangster on average.
Hey.
Some very different movies there, but right below The Matrix on average and above King Kong, Jaws, My Neighbor Totoro, and Dead Poets.
And Forrest Gump, yeah.
Feels about right there. And then in the film, yeah, it's with the company of The Godfather, Jaws, Shining, Raiders, and Shawshank.
I really think so. I think Danny Boyle did the thing here. I think in a similar vein as Shawshank, where it is the story that makes the movie. I'm not floored by Frank Darabont's direction in Shawshank Redemption. It's just the way that it all comes together. That's like, yeah, that's how that had to happen. Boy, was it done well. But yeah, a couple 4.92s in 2 weeks in a row. So that's September looking real nice.
Yeah, and the Avatar, I think will do pretty well too. So
I had to guess. So,
well, man, I mean, what a month it has been, and we're almost there. I mean, we got 3 months left after the Avatar, and that's it.
It was a damn good month when The Departed is your lowest rated.
Yeah, and that's still a 9.5 or 9.8. Sorry, 8.8. Out
almost
of 10 basically. So almost a 9. And doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, and this was also Frida Pinto's first of 2 appearances on our 52-year journey through film. She will be in our 2011 Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So Latika will be making another appearance for us, which is cool. Nice little connective tissue in the Penny Bloomiverse. But yeah, Slumdog Millionaire coming out to a 4.92 out of 5 stars, and
joining the 4.9. Yeah, joining the 4.9 as a film. That's some good company.
It is some damn good company. But yeah, man. With that, we conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 24 hours of exclusive content. Just before this episode and a couple months back in the backlog, you'll find that I just did a little bit of a spoiler-free review for The Northman. I know that's been out for a while now, for everyone listening here, but it's out in theaters as I record it. So, go ahead and check that out over there. Plenty of other content, a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, and then if you would, head to Twitter, follow @PennyBloomPod. Right now, next week's 2009 film is Avatar, But if it were to change, it won't. But if it were to change, you'd find out on Twitter at PennyBloomPod. Follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Wherever you can leave a 5-star rate and review, please do so. Always helps out. Make sure to share us with a friend or foe. I don't really care if you like them, but they should be listening. I was Colton Robertson, joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And D, it was written.